Vector algebra, addition of vectors. In this video, I will explain how to add what? Vectors with examples. So, before then, let's say if let's say vector 1 is the same thing as what? It is the same thing as alpha I plus what? Plus alpha what? Alpha G, and v2 is the same thing as lambda I plus what? Plus lambda what? Plus lambda G. So this is alpha 1 and alpha 2, lambda 1 and what? And lambda 2 what? Lambda 2G. So then if I am asked 1 plus what? Plus v2 vector v1 plus v2, what shall I going to get? So I have the value of I, so I have to say alpha what? Alpha, this is positive sign, I have to say alpha what? This is positive sign, plus alpha 1 plus lambda 1 I, and therefore plus what? Alpha 2 plus lambda 2, which is what? Which is J. So this is how to add what? How to add vectors. So what if I'm asked to add at least 3 vectors? Let's say vector 1, alpha 1 I plus alpha 2 what? J plus alpha 3 what? K, and therefore let's say this is vector 1 and let's say this is the second vector 2. Let's say I have lambda 1 I plus lambda 2 J plus lambda 3 K. The same thing, v1 plus what? Plus vector v2. So this is the same thing as saying I have to say alpha 1 plus lambda 1 I plus what? Alpha 2 plus what? Lambda 2 J plus what? Alpha 3 plus lambda 3 K. So this is how to what? This is how to add vectors. So first I am giving example. Says, let's say an example. The example says if the value of v1 is the same thing as, let's say, 6i plus 2g. So, and what? And v2, let's say, and 3i minus 5g. So the question asks us to find what? It says A, find v1 plus v2. B, it says find 5v1 plus 3v1, and the next says C, find magnitude of v1 plus what? Plus magnitude of v2. So if I am asked to find v1 plus v2, if we take a look to this v1, what is v1? v1 is the same thing as this, so I have to say v1 plus v2 is the same thing as, I have to take a look for this. For v1 I have to take a look to I, v2 I have to take a look to I, and I have to say 6 plus what? Plus 3, which is I, then plus what? I have J, I have to say 2 minus 5. I will end up with 6 plus this, I'll get 9i plus what? 2 minus what? 5 is something as negative, sorry, I have G, negative what? 3. So I have to say minus 3G. So this is the solution to what? To the first question. The second question says 5b1 plus what? 3b1. We have to first find 5v1 before what? Before adding them. So I have to say 5 into v1. If the question says 5v1, you have to put 5 outside the bracket and put the value of what? b1 plus what? Plus 2j. Then multiply 5 by each to expand the bracket. 5 times this, 5 times 6. It is the same thing as 30i plus what? 5 times 2, which is 10. Which is 10g. So as you can see, we already find what? We already find 5b. So they have to find what? We have to find the 3v1. Okay, sorry, this is not 3b1, it is 3v2. It's supposed to be 3v2. So 3v2 is the same thing as 3 into what? I have to take a look to 2. I will say 3i minus 5j. So this is 5, so it is the same thing as 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9i, minus 3 multiplied by this, which is 15. It will now give me negative 15j. So let me have some space. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I have to say 5v1 plus 3v2 is the same thing as, this is 5v1, so I will now say 30i plus 10j. I have to say plus 9 what? 9i minus 15j. So I have to add them. I have to say 30 plus 9i plus what? I'll say 10 plus minus 15, because you put the plus and therefore and put the whole thing that you see here, and I'll put k. So this is the same thing as saying 39i plus this and this. It will give me what? Negative what? Negative 5k. So at the end the solution should now be what? 39i minus 5 what? Okay, sorry, we have j here, we have j, so therefore minus 5 what? J. So therefore this is the end of the second question. So the third question, it says v1 plus v2 in magnitude. You have to first add v1 and v2, so we already add them, so we are just going to take its magnitude. So I have to say, let's say the magnitude of v1 plus v2, it is just taking the root of what? Of this 9 square plus negative what? 3 square. It is the same thing as 9 square, 81 plus 3 square, which is 9. I have to take the root, which is the same thing as what? The same thing as root of 90. So what is the square root of 90? Square root of 90 in short form, it is the same thing as 3 root of 10. So if you need to resolve it in decimal, it is the same thing as saying 9.49. So this is the final answer for the what? For the third question. So let's have another example. If let's say v1 is the same thing as 2i plus 5j, and what? And v2 is the same thing as 5j minus k. Find 10v1 minus 5b2 plus 2v1. So if you solve this question, drop it in the comment section. Thanks you for watching. Have a nice day.